don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun that would die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We was slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you live there. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. You BK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard and they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, this what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof, that is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity and they know it.
In the streets of America, God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
Buck roll.
handers know my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gun on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha War straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. They can't, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. My whole life.
All right. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer will hold down the class live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. All you brothers and sisters tuning in, if you got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, get them in contact with the ISUPK. I want to welcome in all you brothers and sisters that's tuning in from the ISUPK Louisiana YouTube page. We live, you know what I'm saying, for you, Louisiana, this evening. Be having Officer Yassad come in a little while to join me for the class. So I want to say shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, all the brothers, Yahweh Shema, Thamba Shem Yahshua, all the sisters, all right. So again, I'm Captain Soccer War down here in Memphis, Tennessee, man. Since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana has been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2026, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on this earth. So what we like to do with these classes is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible, to learn the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Most High has put inside of this book, so that we can come back to being the people he called us to be and reclaim our righteous place on the earth as kings, priests, princesses, and daughters of Zion. With that being said, I'd like to start the class off with questions. If any brothers or sisters online have any questions, type them in. If there's any questions in the room, raise your hand. And of course, if there are no questions, then we'll get into the topic of tonight's class. What you see on the screen is blinding oppression. All right. Blinding oppression. Last night's class was titled Pharaoh's Hard Heart. We talked about the oppression that the children of Israel faced in Egypt. We talked about the whitewashing or the erasing of the history in Egypt that failed to recognize the contributions of Joseph, failed to recognize the contributions of the Israelites, failed to acknowledge, the great works that were done by the Israelites or by the Hebrews to help contribute to Egypt being a great empire, and how, that is what preceded the rising of a new Pharaoh that knew not Joseph, that led to the cruelty against the Hebrews in that time. And I made a correlation between what went on in the days of Pharaoh in Egypt with what is going on today with blacks in America and the current administration under President Trump, to erase the contributions of blacks and Hispanics to the greatness of this country, and how they are using the erasing of our contributions to this country as a precursor for painting us to be evil and wicked and disgusting before the world. So as they go to enact whatever evil, wicked plans they have against us, the earth is going to be in agreement with them, because all of the history of the greatness of our people will have been erased. Everybody understands. I'm going to welcome in Officer Yesai. Shalom, Mike Yebson Shabbat.
Shalom, sir. Yahweh Bashima Shabbat.
How you doing? How you holding up?
Oh, shit. Salaki, I'm doing all right. I'm trying to see how I could share it to Louisiana.
Okay, so the way that you normally go live, right? Just go live like that, and then share your screen. Do you know how to share your screen? Because what I'm trying to get you to do is go live the way you normally go live.
All right.
Leave this tab with me live open, and then just share your screen. Yeah, share your screen from the where you live at, and just put me on the camera on the image of your live, right, so everybody is seeing and hearing what I'm saying.
All right, and just mute it on the StreamYard, and then I'll be on me on this one, I guess. So
you might not even have to mute the StreamYard.
All right.
Well, you could mute the StreamYard so that your sound not coming through StreamYard, your sound will be coming through talking to me. Now, right, I'm gonna ask you this. Once you do this, once you go live, it might slow your computer up, so your screen might be a little blurry. Do you want me to take you off the video and just have your audio on, or do you want to try to stay on the video too?
We could try to see how it do, I guess, and then if it looks like you're messing up, I'll just do it like that. All right, so
I bet.
All right, so I'm gonna just put I could just, what you want with the title? To put long class with Captain Sakwa,
you can do that. You can do long class with Captain Sakwa, or you can do blind and oppression, the same title that I have. All right.
Oh, Salaki, I never know.
No sweat, no sweat. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take you off the screen and keep with the intro.
Sir.
All right, no sweat. Salakia. But yeah, right now in this country, they are making a concerted effort to try and lay the groundwork and the foundation for, horrible evil against Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people in this country. And they're trying to start by erasing our contributions to this country so that nobody will know the greatness that we contributed. They want the earth to only see us in our current condition. They want the earth to see us the way the media has tried to portray Black people for the last 50 years in this country. They want the only memory and knowledge of us is to be gangsters and drug dealers and women twerking in the streets and popping their vagina on cars, you know what I'm saying, as being welfare recipients and all the horrible things that they try to portray us as being. And it's the politicians and it's the religious leaders that are keeping us asleep at the evil that is being planned against us. So today I want to go into the Bible and talk about what preceded the Most High delivering the children of Israel out of Egypt. This is a continuation of the class from last night. We covered, you understand, the beginning stages of Pharaoh's heart being hardened. And today we want to talk about something that is stopping Black people, Hispanics, and Native Indians from really understanding the seriousness and the dire straits that we are in this time. Like, we see this great evil that's coming around the horizon, but we're forced to continue living life as though everything is normal. We're forced to continue to go on day to day, try to figure out how we're going to pay our bills, how we're going to keep gas in our vehicles. And that is by design. You understand? Our oppressor is hitting us with a blinding oppression that is keeping us in a fight or flight mode that's not allowing us to really see the bigger picture or to hunker down and prepare for what's coming around the corner. But thanks be to the Most High in Christ that we have the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command of General Yohana, with the priests and the captains and the officers being raised up to make sure that brothers and sisters are doing what's necessary to be prepared for these times. The most important thing that brothers and sisters need to be doing right now is making sure that they are getting their spirit right with the Most High. Make sure that you understand what it means to have faith and to trust in the Most High and to obey Him. You understand? And to not allow the things that are transpiring in the world to cause you to believe that there's something you can do of your own that's going to get you out of this situation. You understand? The Bible is full of a lot of accounts of people putting their faith and their trust in the Most High and the Most High delivering them. And for years, it's been something we've read about, we've heard preached in churches and in religion. But we are living in a time in this generation where it's going to take the faith that we read about in these scriptures to endure what it is that this oppressor is going to try to do to us. And so these classes are necessary for brothers and sisters to understand that what we are facing today, we faced it in the past. And the way that we overcame in the past, it is the way that the Lord is going to expect for us to overcome in this time. And that's why the wisdom of the men of the Lord is so necessary and important. Everybody understands. All right, so we're going to get into it. The first scripture we're going to go to, bear with me, is going to be in the book of Exodus. Bear with me. All right. So first scripture we're going to go to, let's get Exodus chapter 3. No, Exodus chapter 2. And let's get verse 23. All right. Exodus 2 and chapter 23.
Colonel Khan, you can hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I should be live on mine. You say Exodus 2:23?
Come.
Of the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 23. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel signed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage.
Keep reading.
Verse 4. And God heard their groaning. And God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them.
Everybody understands. So when in the days when the Lord first rose up Moses, remember there was a new Pharaoh that rose up in Egypt that didn't have the knowledge of Joseph and the memories of the great contributions that the Hebrews made to Egyptian culture. And in those days after that king died, the scripture said that the children of Israel cried to the Most High for a reason of the oppression that we were experiencing. You understand? And it was us crying to the Most High and pleading with him because of the harsh bondage that the Most High heard us and had compassion on us. Everybody understands? We are living in a time now where brothers and sisters should be calling out to the Most High. We should be praying to the Most High like we do in ISUPK, sending up those prayers concerning the evil that is going on in our community. Sending up prayers concerning the evil that our oppressor is planning to carry out against us. You understand? Praying to the Most High for deliverance and for brothers and sisters to be able to wake up and to hear the truth and to change their lives because we see the clear and present danger that is facing us. Everybody understands? Now, when the Most High heard these prayers in Exodus 3 and in Exodus 4, that's when the Most High comes to Moses, speaks to Moses in a burning bush and tells Moses, I need you to go get my people out of Egypt. Everybody understands? Before the Lord sent Moses, the children of Israel cried to the Lord for the oppression that we were in. For the last 250 years in this country, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have been crying out to God. You understand? America's getting ready to celebrate 250 years this July with goddamn Donald Trump and all of the things that he's doing in Washington, D.C. and the White House, all the oppression that's going on. They're getting ready to celebrate 250 years of oppression, of, of murdering, of raping, of all manner of evil that has gone unchecked in the earth. Well, we've been crying out to the Lord for 250 years to be delivered from this evil. You understand? Now, what did our oppressor do to quiet some of that crying, to quiet some of that us turning our face and seeking the Lord? They did what the Bible says was done in Egypt when they set taskmasters over us. You understand? They gave us politicians and gave us religious leaders that tried to make us feel like we could be accepted in America. Try to make us feel like there was some type of justice or salvation to be found in this place, when that's not what the Bible says. You understand? So those cries to the Lord have gotten lessened over the years because of the comfort that we've experienced in America. And you look around today, because of the evil of religion, because of the evil of the propaganda that we were taught in church, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that don't think to turn to God in a time like this. I'm watching some of the discourse online, some of these arguments being had on social media, and these people are talking about voting. They're talking about starting a new political party. Some of them talking about fleeing and going to other countries because of the evil that's happening in America. But there's nobody saying we need to turn to the Most High except for the men of the ISUPK. There's nobody saying we need to get back to obeying God's law and becoming the people that God called us to be. Nobody, in the midst of all the evil going on in America, where the righteous people will say, well, we should turn to God and pray he deliver us out of America like the Israelites were delivered out of Egypt. You're not hearing that anywhere else but here, because there are no leaders outside of this place. Outside of the ISUPK, there are no righteous men that understand the word of the Most High and see America for the evil, sinful kingdom that the Bible describes it as, and is warning God's people to flee from this place. Not flee physically, but to flee spiritually. You understand? Take your mindset out of the future of America. Take your spirit out of being tied to the success of America. There's still brothers and sisters that believe America is going to go on forever, when God is showing you America is destroyed. Babylon has fallen. America is never going to recover from this thing going on right now in the earth. It's not going to recover economically with what's going on with that war in Iran. It's not going to recover militarily as being the bully of all the other countries on the earth. It's not going to recover, as far as the monetary system, with the failures of the dollar and the raping of the system by all of these rich billionaires. The land is never going to recover with all of these data centers they putting up and all of these water, they polluting the goddamn water and all of these small municipalities around the country. These devils are actively destroying this place, and it is the will of the Most High that it comes to pass. Now, does that mean that we're going to starve and die and we're going to suffer all the great evil that our oppressor is planning against us? No, not if you believe in the Most High. Not if you know these scriptures. Not if you know the power of God to deliver his people out of the hands of oppression, like we read about in the book of Exodus. Everybody understands? So as the children of Israel cried, and the Lord sent Moses to Pharaoh. Let's read what took place after Moses came to Pharaoh. You understand? Let's get hold on. Hold on. All right, let's get Exodus chapter 5, verse 1.
Colonel
Yeah,
Khan.
chapter 5, verse 1. And let me get Exodus chapter 5, verse 1, 2. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. Read Exodus 5, 1 through 3. And then Exodus 5, 1 through 4. Let's just get Exodus chapter 5. Read from verse 1 down to 4. All right, you got it.
Colonel Khan, sir. The book of Exodus, chapter 5, verse 1. And afterwards Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus said the Lord God of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh said, who is the Lord that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I know not the Lord, neither will I let Israel go. Verse 3. And they say, the God of the Hebrews had met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3-day journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword. Verse 4. And the king of Egypt said unto them, wherefore do ye, Moses and Aaron, let the people from their works you unto your burdens?
Everybody understand that? So when the Lord sent Moses and Aaron to Pharaoh, initially the request of Moses and Aaron was to let the children of Israel go for 3 days, man, to go and have a feast, to have a celebration, to have a holiday, away from all of their hard work and from all of their rigorous bondage that they were in. Just let the people, the Hebrews, go and celebrate and have a feast, man, and they'll come back. Pharaoh said to Aaron and Moses, what are y'all niggas talking about, the God of the Hebrews, man? I don't know no God of Israel. You know what? Y'all get back to your burdens. Get back to work. Y'all coming to me complaining about a goddamn break, complaining to me about taking a vacation. Man, you better get back to work. Everybody understands. And that's been our life here in America. Not specifically Moses coming and asking for 3 days to go into the wilderness, but all black people have been asking for in our time in this country under the hands of these devils is for a break. Just give us a break, man. Give us some room to breathe. Let us have our own space. Let us have our own cities and our own towns. Let us worship our own God. Let us have, our own belief system. Let us build our own society and have our own culture. To the white man, that's similar to asking for a break. That's similar to asking, for a chance to go and worship our God. And the response of Pharaoh was harsh and cruel. Man, I'm not letting nobody go. Y'all niggas ain't got time to be worshiping no God. You know what? Y'all not working hard enough. And if you read in Exodus 5, I'm skipping some of this for time's sake, but if you read on down, Pharaoh's response to Moses and Aaron requesting for the children of Israel to get 3 days off of work was to make work harder for them. You know what the problem is? They ain't working hard enough, man. Make their bondage more rigorous. Increase their quotas on the job. Lower their pay. You understand? And that's what's going on right now. Some of you brothers and sisters that's working, if you're working blue collar right now, meaning you work a manual labor job, with all of this AI and all of this new technology, you would think that these jobs would get easier. You would think that the work would be lighter. Nah, not with the white man. They getting technology and computers and expecting you to work harder and using the computers to threaten you that if you don't work harder, man, we're just going to let the robots take your job and fire you. You would think in a just society with technological improvements, it would mean that you could still pay the workers the same they're getting paid, but just, lessen their load a little bit. No, that's not how oppression works. Oppression can't lighten your load. Oppression can't give you a break. Oppression can't allow you room to breathe. Why? Because if you had a break, if you had a room to breathe, you might contemplate escaping. You might contemplate, running away. And these devils is exactly how the Bible describes an oppressor. You would think that with more technology, more work could be done, the people could get paid more. These corporations and companies are trying to pay you less. They know that the job market is drying up. I remember when I first moved down here to Memphis, I first had to enter the workforce. It was a good time because Amazon was competing with FedEx. And because Amazon was competing with FedEx for workers, Amazon was telling niggas that was working down here, look, man, we'll give you a $3,000 signing bonus. This is during COVID. If you moved to Memphis and at the time when I moved here, the jobs that I'm talking about was paying like $14 an hour. This is 2019. You wanted to work at FedEx or work at Amazon, the most you could get coming in the door was like $14. I look up, COVID hit. They was paying, it was that same $14 an hour job was now $18 an hour at FedEx. And Amazon, the job was $17.50, but they was giving you a $3,000 signing bonus if you stayed for 90 days. And guess what? We was going to getting them jobs. Cats was in between FedEx. Some cats was working two jobs, working in FedEx, working at Amazon at night, working FedEx during the day. Then they passed the rule that you couldn't work at both companies. It was a conflict of interest. Then you had to choose. When they made it so you had to choose, man, Amazon said, FedEx giving y'all 18, man, we'll give you 20. We'll give you 20 coming in the door, and we'll give you $3,000. Then when everybody was leaving to go to Amazon, then FedEx said, look, we're going to give y'all extra $6 on top of your base pay. I came in the door at FedEx making $17 an hour. They gave us COVID boost pay, which was an extra $3 for working in the input and an extra $3, just to work there, which means I went from $17 to $23 in a year. I started working at FedEx. I was making $17 in 2020. 2021, I was making $23 an hour, and it was a beautiful thing. Then FedEx, they started working on this new automated building, right? It was a new building. They said it was going to be fully automated. They had computers and machines that was going to do, the processing part of the work that needed to be done. They still needed people to manually take the boxes off the trucks and stuff like that. But tell me why, when that building opened up, that made the work easier, that made it so that you needed less people, instead of FedEx just taking us from working in areas we was already working and just moving a few people to the new building to make it easier, man, they fired half of everybody that was working there. After all the COVID, after all the pay, they fired half the people that was working there. Then after they hired half the people, they came back and told us, yeah, it ain't COVID no more, so we taking that $6 from y'all. You can't get that $6 no more. Now, some of us, by that time, I became a team leader. I'm middle management, so my money locked in. My $3 was locked in, but they came one day, didn't give us a heads up, didn't give us a warning ahead of time. One day we got our checks, and niggas' checks was, a couple $100 short. We come to work on Monday like, man, what's going on? The money's short on the check. What's happening? That's when they decided they want to have a meeting and tell us, yeah, that $3 incentive pay y'all was getting, we had to take that $3 incentive pay off, man. Ain't no more incentive pay. And if you've been working here, if you already topped out. So it's like some of us, they took the $3 and rolled it into our base pay, and we kept the $3 that we was getting. But for people who had been working there, they just lost $3 off their pay. It was cats that it was making $30 an hour at the time. They just out of nowhere now they making 27. It was like, man, this messed up. We wanted to, argue and complain. But you know what FedEx said? You niggas in that union. Not only are you niggas in that union, you niggas don't have any alternative. If you don't like it, you could just leave. You could just not work here. If you got a problem with the pay, you could go. Guess what? Ain't nowhere else to go. Ain't no other jobs that's hiring, paying what we getting paid. So you know what we did? We shut the fuck up. Excuse my language. That's oppression. Everybody understands. Rather than them adding a new building, lightening the burden, taking the load off of some of the workers, they just fired half the people so that those of us still there had to do the same amount of work. And they took our money away and threatened us to take our jobs, and you had to just swallow it. That's what was going on in Egypt. And right now, the same thing is happening. Now, if I could, I got a couple brothers in here. Yasad, I know you on here. Another brother, Trooper Kawat. Trooper, state your name, Mike, if you could. Trooper, can you hear me? Okay, he dropped out. Officer, your side. Can you hear me?
Kind, sir.
Is what I'm
Kind of
describing
sir.
going on with these? Is what I'm describing going on with these slaveries? Is that anything you can relate to?
Kind. I mean, why you was talking when you had say about they say you either sup it or go. I was thinking about how the scriptures say when a man take away a man's livelihood, man, it as if he killed it, that man. You know what I'm saying?
Con.
Like the people wonder why we called it our slavery. Like that felt so good to me just coming in the truth, knowing this was my slavery, because they put you in a position to where you think this my job, something I want to do, but you stuck. Because they saying that you have the freedom to just quit. Your light bill due, your rent due.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? They know even when they give you a raise, they underpaying you. Even when
Con.
they give you a raise, you being underpaid. So that's just slavery. And that's why you feel stuck. And they put that same spirit on us. You know what I'm saying? Like when Moses in Egypt, we was willing to go worship 3 days in the wilderness, feast to our God. But Pharaoh
Con.
made us want to just get the bag, which is the same spirit today. Everybody just get the bag, work, and call
Con.
this their job. It's the same thing. That's all I want.
Con. No sweat. No sweat. The water. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, on these slaveries and these jobs, these devils treat us cruelly, knowing that we don't have a choice in many cases, knowing that we need this job, like the officer said, because our bills are due, because we got kids at home we got to take care of. And it's such an evil thing that has happened to us in this place. And it's exactly what happened to us in Egypt. You understand? Now, if I could, let's get Exodus chapter 5, drop down, and let's read verse 19.
Got on cards, sir. Exodus chapter 5, verse 19.
Hold on,
And
Salaki. Hold on, Salaki. In that 19, read Exodus 5 and 15. Read verse 15 and read on down to verse 17.
got on cards, sir. The book of Exodus, chapter 5, verse 15. Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried to Pharaoh, saying, wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants? Salaki. Let me start over. Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried to Pharaoh, saying, wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants? There is no straw given unto thy servants. And they say to us, make brick. And behold, thy servants are beaten, but the fault is in thy own people. Verse 17. But he said, ye are idle, ye are idle. Therefore you say, let us go and do sacrifice to the Lord.
Everybody understands. So the people was trying to figure out and wonder, why are y'all being so cruel to us? Why are y'all making this work so difficult and the bondage so strict? I mean, we already was working, we doing what y'all asking us to do. How y'all increasing the workload and giving us the same amount of pay and telling us that we got to hurry up and get this done? It don't make no sense. Pharaoh said it's your fault that the work is harder. It's your fault that the quotas are increased. It's your fault that we paying you less and the work is more demanding because you are too idle. You're not working hard enough. That's the way America looking at us today. Right now, these Republicans and these people in the government, they took away the welfare, took away the food stamps, the SNAP benefits, took away the health care and the Medicare that was helping old people to be able to get their medicine. Then they wrecking the economy and making it so that the jobs that we used to be able to work don't even exist no more. A lot of these companies that we have grown accustomed to seeing are going away. I read a report the other day about McDonald's is shutting down, half of their stores or something. Wendy's and KFC. These are little fast food places where your kids can go get a job. They erasing those fast food jobs, like the fast food places shutting down. Retail businesses, used to be able to go get a job in the mall. You go work at Foot Locker or something, go work at the JC Penney, you folding clothes or doing some little goofy job. They erasing those jobs, getting rid of them. You understand? Used to be able to go and bust tables at a restaurant. Guess what? They getting rid of they got rid of the damn taxes on your tips. Haven't raised the minimum wage. They blame us for being poor and in poverty when they pass policies and make laws that make it more difficult for you to be able to make decent money to be able to pay your rent. In the last 50 years in this country, the rate of the cost of living is substantially more increased than the rate of pay that we receive. Since 1994, they haven't raised, 1999, they haven't raised the federal, 2009, they haven't raised the federal minimum wage, which is $7.25 right now. There is not a single place in America, excuse me. There's not a single place in America where you can live off of $7.25 a month, an hour, working 40 hours a week. You got to work 3 40-hour jobs making minimum wage in order to survive in America. Yet they look at us and say, what's wrong with y'all? Why y'all, pull yourself up by your bootstraps? Stop depending on the government. Stop waiting for handouts. This is an evil, cruel place. Everybody understands? This is an evil, cruel place. And then when we bring up the Most High, when we bring up the injustice, when we bring up the suffering, they try to pit it and make it seem as though we are the ones that's evil. The most diabolical thing the white man has done to black people was to pass all of these evil, cruel, unjust, immoral laws, not immoral laws, but push these, sexual deviancies and LGBTQ lifestyle to, pass the Roe v. Wade, which started abortion and Planned Parenthood, to push on our society and our culture that you shouldn't be having kids if you poor. You shouldn't be having children if you can't afford it. Then turn around and try to make it seem like we evil because we go and abort our babies. It's the most diabolical, evil thing that's ever been done to a people in the history of the earth. Like the white man set the conditions for us to not be able to be living in unbearable conditions. They taught us through religion and through their philosophy and their indoctrination, through their propaganda and movies and on the radio, to kill your babies. Don't be a single mom. Don't be a single dad. But then at the same time, pass policies to destroy our families and to cripple our households, and then turn around and try to blame us like we are moral, like we are people that don't want to have our families living together, like we don't want to live, in complete family units. It's an evil, horrible thing. And the Lord sees the evil that they've done, and they're going to pay for it. You understand? But that's what was going on here in the book of Exodus chapter 5, where Moses went to Pharaoh to ask for the children of Israel to be able to go and serve their God. And Pharaoh increased the bondage, made it harder for us to do the work that we were required to do. Everybody understand?
Come.
All right, let me drop that. Let's get hold up. Officer Matabar trying to come in. Hey, Shalom, Mox. You can salute us. I didn't get a chance to let you salute everybody. Trooper, what's your name?
Shalom, Yahweh Shemi, Yahweh Samurai.
Shalom, Yahweh Samurai.
You went out for a second.
Yeah,
you went out for a second.
Trooper Kawatham.
Trooper Kawatham, Most High Christ. Nice to meet you. Good to see you.
Khan, other one.
Kawatham, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna put your keep your audio on, but I'm gonna take your camera off because it keep going out. All right.
Khan.
It might be easier with your connection for you to just be heard. So if you want to read out a scripture, once I call it, just say you got it. All right. Let me see. Drop that. All right. Let me get Bear with me. I'm looking for where the children of Israel could not cry out for the bondage. There's a scripture in Exodus where they made it so hard. Hold on. Now, matter of fact, let's get Exodus 6. Exodus 6, verse 5 and 6.
Come. The book of Exodus, chapter 6, verse 5. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Verse 6. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments.
Keep on reading. Read the next 3 verses. Read on down to verse 11.
Sir. Verse 7. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God, which bringing you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you in unto the land, concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it you for an heritage. I am the Lord. Verse 9. And Moses spake so unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses, for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land.
All right, stop right there. Now we see that the Most High heard the groaning of the children of Israel. He heard our cries, heard us reaching out to him because of the oppression. And he said, man, because these people have been so oppressed and because this oppressor been so cruel, I'm going to deliver them and I'm going to bring them out with a stretched out hand and I'm going to give them into a new land and give them a new heritage and a culture and a way of life. I'm going to make them greater than this oppressor that they've been ruled under. And Moses went and told all these things to the people. What was it that kept the people from following Moses? What was it that kept the people from hearing Moses and from following him and from for leaving their slavery and leaving their bondage and getting under the thumb of their oppressor? It's the same thing today that's keeping brothers and sisters from hearing us when we speak the truth. It's the same thing that's stopping brothers and sisters from coming into the work of the Lord and to give their life to the Most High. Read verse 9 one more time. This is Exodus chapter 6. Read verse 9.
Sir. And Moses spake so unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses, for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage.
Everybody understand? That's blinding oppression. That's the topic of tonight's class. Blinding oppression is what kept the children of Israel who were suffering, who were in bondage, who were in hell in Egypt from listening to Moses, from following him. Everybody understands? There's brothers and sisters right now who you going to try to drop the truth on them. And you know why they can't come to class? Because they worried about their bills being paid. There's brothers that you know right now that's getting high, smoking cigarettes, getting drunk every day. They can't stop smoking because their nerves is bad. They can't stop drinking because the drink is the only thing that make them feel comfortable about their horrible life. Everybody understands? There's sisters out here that's having sex and they get pregnant and they go to that abortion clinic. You can't talk them out of that abortion clinic. You want to know why? Because they believe they are too poor to have children. They believe it would be evil and cruel to bring a child into this world because they don't have any money. You know where all of that stress comes from, all of that anguish of spirit comes from? It comes from oppression. It comes from the weight of this society bearing down on us and brothers and sisters feeling hopeless. Everybody understand? And what's so evil about it is we live in the most modern society that's ever been on the earth. What I mean by that is, we got electricity, hell, air conditioning in the house. I'm sitting here, you saw you in Lake Charles, right? Louisiana. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. We on the screen together teaching class. We got brothers and sisters tuning in from Louisiana, from New Orleans, from Memphis, from New York City, from California. Yet and still, there's brothers and sisters in this society, in this generation, that feel like they too poor to have children. Where the hell does that come from? How could somebody in 2026 think they too poor to have children because they broke when we made it through literal slavery? Huh? Don't you know that we here today because during slavery, slaves was having sex and making babies? Don't you know that we here today because during a time when black people could not own anything, when we were forced to work in fields for our oppressor, was one thing we made sure we made time to do? Make some babies, make some children. Now, what do you think was in the minds of the slaves when they were having children, when they were raising up seed in the earth? I remember, being young, watching infomercials late at night on TV and seeing starving Somalian with the babies with the big bellies and the flies on their head, and seeing the children in the mud huts and starving. Some white lady saying 15 cents a day, you can support a child and this and that. I remember watching those things and thinking to myself, man, them people must have great faith. They must have trust in their God that they still having sex and making babies, even though they starving, even though they living in the mud. And as I've grown and became a man, I come to understand that people on the earth have not had the white man's money for many generations. There have been whole civilizations that have sprung up in the earth, and people didn't need money to survive. They didn't need air conditioning. They didn't need electricity. They didn't need the wealth of our oppressor in order to live. Somehow we've been convinced that, we poor, so we shouldn't be having babies. We poor, so we shouldn't be, raising up future generations that'll overthrow our oppressor. And that comes from blinding oppression. That comes from being completely bombarded and attacked on all sides to be convinced that, you're so poor and too poor to do anything worthwhile like having children, and it's a horrible, evil thing. Everybody understands. Now I want to ask a question. I want to see who out there has their thinking cap on, but I want to see if somebody can answer this question for me. If you was in class yesterday, you already know the answer. What was the purpose of all the oppression that the Egyptians put down on the Israelites? What was the goal of the Egyptians when they began to oppress Israel? Does anybody know? When the Pharaoh got together with his people and said, look, man, these children of Israel are mighty and great in number. We got to do something about this. What was their goal to solve the Israelite problem? And it's the same goal that our oppressor has today to solve the Black and Hispanic problem. What is the great fear that America has right now? What is the thing that America is deathly afraid, that white people in America are deathly afraid of having happen to them? What is the great danger and the great threat that is facing white America today? Does anybody know? Type it in if you online and what are white people so afraid of? And if you're in the class, you can speak on it as well.
It's a lot, sir.
Come on with it.
Is it because they scared we're going to multiply, like it said, and we'll join, if war break out, we'll join our enemies?
Absolutely.
Their enemies to overthrow them?
Absolutely. White people are definitely afraid that we're going to outnumber them, that we are going to overpopulate them. Everybody understands? What is the goal of oppression? In the book of Exodus, Pharaoh's their solution to the Israelite problem was, let's stop them from having babies. Let's kill all the boy children and let the girl children stay alive. You understand?
It's like,
What happens if you don't have boys but you have a bunch of girls? You can just outbreed the race of people, because your men can put your seed in their women and raise up your own children. The white man wants to stop black men from having sex with black women. That's the goal. The goal is to stop black children from being born. Now, what are some of the ways that they have in America stopped or discouraged black men and black women from having children? What are some of the things that they've done to discourage that?
it's a lot, sir.
Come on with it.
And I want to speak like we even join our enemies. That's how they think about us today, because they be saying like by the year, I think 2050, they gonna be the minority. But they not taking the black population against theirs. They joining blacks, Hispanic, Native American, Chinese. They joining everybody that's not classified under white and putting all of our numbers together and saying we gonna outnumber them, meaning like in 2050, with every other race on earth in America, we would be like 51% to their 49. But still,
Huh.
their 49 outnumber any race 101 up in America.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
they're already thinking of we joining forces with everybody, the same way Pharaoh was thinking.
Absolutely. Just so it's the exact same fear that Pharaoh had in the Bible is the fear of the white man today. And the same exact solution that Pharaoh came up with in the Bible is the solution that the white man came up with today. And so when you go online and you see black men and black women having these arguments and these discussions about marriage and about a good man and a good woman and how dating is so hard and how all the people just want to do is have sex and don't nobody want commitment and don't want a relationship, that's all been orchestrated by the oppressor. All of that talking point is the white man speaking to convince us not to get together, not to have children. Sister Anaya said, this is good, Sister Water. She said abortion, separation of black families, incarcerating black and Hispanic men, all of these things have been utilized to subdue the black man and the black woman and to discourage us from having children. Everybody understands. If their fear is that we will keep multiplying more than them, what is the one thing that we must do in order to ensure that we get free from this oppressor? If their fear is that we're going to outnumber them, what should that inform us that we must do? What is the one thing black men, black women, Latino men and Latino women, Native Indian men and women must do? If the white man wants us to stop having babies, what is the thing that we have to do? Officer Matabar, you on up? Officer Matabar, you there? You take yourself off mute, you could be heard, Matabar. Sister Kazakwana said to follow our God. That's true, sis, to follow the Most High. What's the other thing, though, that we must do? If they're afraid of us multiplying, afraid of us, outnumbering them, Kazakwana, you got it. She said we have to keep producing. You understand?
Oh, my.
We are living in a time right now where you need to keep having children. Need to having babies, because that is the threat of the oppressor. Why is us having children a threat to the oppressor? All of this talk about you shouldn't have babies born into poverty and you shouldn't be having kids if you can't take care of them, if you ain't working a good enough job to make enough money to take care of them. Why should we ignore all of that nonsense and keep having children? Why should we continue to make babies? Let's get the scripture. Come on with it.
Shit, even them saying that a man can only have one wife is something used to kind of slow down the birth rate. Picture a man with 5 wives and they each having 3 kids. That's 15 kids right there, just one man.
Absolutely. That's over. You got to add religion into that. The religion of Christianity.
Yeah.
You understand? The teaching of monogamy. All of those things were things that our oppressor did to discourage us from having strong families that stayed together. Hell, teaching a woman that she needed to have a ring on her finger for the marriage to be legit. In the Bible, sex is marriage. It used to be a time, brothers and sisters, where the only thing that was needed in order for a man and a woman to know that they were not going to leave one another was for a woman to open her legs and let that man inside of her. I just want y'all to think about that for a second. That was a time, and it wasn't that long ago. Hell, what? 60 years ago? 60 years ago, not my mother's generation, but my grandmother's generation. To them in them olden days, a woman's sex was precious. A woman's body was a special sacred thing. And a woman knew that every man wants this precious thing that I have. They want my body. And women were taught that their bodies were sacred and special. And if any man is going to have your body, then he must take care of you for the rest of your life. And you must take care of him for the rest of your life. There was a time where we understood the importance of sex. You understand? Where sex was the covenant. Sex was the thing that made a man and a woman stay together. There was a time where if you had sex with a man's daughter and that man found out, he come with a shotgun. And guess what? You stuck with that daughter now. You stuck with that woman. And y'all go ahead and have a good life and have a happy family, but you're not going to have sex with my daughter and keep it pushing. Everybody understands? So what we must get back to in this day and this time is we must get back to strengthening our families, for men and women to take sex seriously and stay together if they make that commitment, and then have children and raise them up, because your children are the future justice seekers for the evil that we've suffered. You understand? For many of us, we know justice has to come from the Lord, but we know that justice comes to the people who are present. If we don't have sex and make children, there won't be any people present to enjoy the justice that the Lord brings. You must have children and raise them up so that they can grieve the oppressor, which is what the Bible says. Now we're going to get into the scriptures about the wisdom of having children, and how having children is how you fight against oppression. It's how you fight against the goal of the oppressor. The oppressor wants us to die off, to go away. It's revolutionary for a man and a woman to have a child. It's revolutionary for a man and a woman to stay together and raise those children. It's revolutionary for a man to have two women and have children with both of them and keep both of those families together. It's revolutionary for a man to have three women and to have children with all three of those women, and then to stay with all three of those women. That is what your oppressor does not want. That is what your oppressor wants you to look at as just settling to have a man in your life, or just settling so you have a daddy for your children. Woman, you are brainwashed and believe the devil. Right. If you think that it's settling for you to be with a man, knowing he has other women and he is with you and those women and raising all those children together, it is silly to think that you're better off by yourself. That's what the white man wants you to think, so he can destroy your children, so he can destroy you. And there's a lot of women that are destroying themselves in being lonely and miserable because they have been lied to and convinced that they are better off alone than to be with a man knowing he has other women. Let's get Psalms chapter 127, verse 3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 127 and verse what? 3?
3, verse 3.
Sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 127, verse 3. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward.
Everybody understand that? Children are a heritage of the Lord. You understand? What is a heritage? It's a something that will last beyond your lifetime. A heritage is like, what was your contribution to the earth? When you leave this earth, when you die, who will remember you? Who's going to keep your customs and keep your rules and walk in your footsteps? If you blaze a trail and there's nobody that you leave to follow you on that trail, then what good was that trail that you blazed? Everybody understands. The Bible says that children are a heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is a reward. Children are a reward from God. You have been convinced that children are a burden, that children is some evil thing to drag you down and hold you back in life. That's the white man talking. That's your oppressor. I had a black woman on the internet today refer to children as crotch rockets. This is a homosexual woman too. She told me she was a homosexual. I said, we were going back and forth about having children in poverty. And I said, y'all women want to get put through the mattress and get your back cracked, but you don't want to have a baby and raise up a baby and nurture a child to be an adult. What's wrong with you? The hoe responded back and said, I'm lesbian, so I get my back cracked, or whatever she said. I get whatever funky shit she said. Then she said, I don't need no little crotch rocket running around holding me back, taking all my money. And I just shook my head. I said, you a dirty hoe. You're a nasty hoe, and you love your oppressor's culture. You understand? And it's sad and unfortunate because so many of our people have suffered abuse, suffered trauma, been victims of, sexual crimes. And rather than understanding it and looking at the individuals that caused it and the evil of their actions, they will have been convinced by the white man that they were better off just being a homosexual, that they were better off just, committing to a lifestyle that will guarantee that they don't have any children. And that is the opposite of revolutionary. That is the opposite of how you fight against the horrible things you've suffered. But because this oppressor has designed a system to discourage us from having children, you encounter people like the ones I encountered today arguing about having children when the Lord said that children are a reward. Everybody understands?
All right.
Let's get this is in the Apocrypha now. Let's get hold on. Let's get Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 1.
Got a card, sir.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 1.
All right. Of the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 1.
Salaki, hold on real quick. Go straight to verse 3. Ecclesiasticus 3, drop down to verse and read through verse 6. Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 down up. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 3 down to verse 6. You got it.
Got a card, sir. Of the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father died, yet he is as though he was not dead. For he had left one behind, for he had left one behind him that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. Verse 6. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
Now, I need y'all to understand the power behind what we just read. You understand? God gave us a solution for fighting against oppression. He gave us a hope to one day see justice and to one day get vengeance. And he said it comes when we have our children and when we teach our children. We stress in the ISUPK the importance of men being in their children's lives. You understand? And if you a sister out there who's man, the children, your father's children is not in their lives, then you make sure that those children are around the priest of the ISUPK. Make sure that those children are hearing the voice of the men of the Lord, speaking the word of the Most High. Because the number one thing that a man and a woman can do to fight against their oppressor is to raise up children that will stand in their place in the future, to raise up children that will live and speak on their behalf when they are gone. Everybody understands? I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna paraphrase it as I'm breaking this down. Ecclesiastes 30:3. He that teaches his son grieves the enemy. Who's the enemy of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? The white man. And all you brothers and sisters out there, man, you raising your children in the truth, teaching them that they the chosen people of God. You sending them to those schools, and they not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. They not doing the damn singing the national anthem. They not standing for the national anthem. They not celebrating the white man's holidays in that school. Guess what you doing to the oppressor? What you doing to the enemy? You are grieving him. You making him deathly afraid. Every time listen, I don't want my children to go to public school. But Lord allow, the Lord is with me. I'll send them when they about, 5th, 6th grade. I'll send them when they old enough. And when they go in that school, them devils going to wish these niggas never came here. Because my children are going to not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I can't wait to, send my kids to school just so they can not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Send my kids to school just so they can tell the teacher, I don't celebrate Christmas. Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. I can't wait to send my kids to school so that for, Black History Month, every Black history fact they teaching in the school is about the Bible and Black people in the Bible. All of that grieves the enemy. Nothing is more fearsome to the white man than us raising our children to know the truth of the Most High, and more importantly, to know the truth about them. That they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. Because you know what that does? It takes away their power. It takes away the sting of their cruelty. It takes away their ability to influence us, to bother us. And there's nothing that can grieve the white man more than you teaching your children. Everybody understands? Reading on, it says, and before his friends, he shall rejoice of him. Meaning what? All of you brothers know. You one of them brothers, you got some amazing some children you bringing up in this truth. Amazing young soldiers, and it's an inspiration to see you every time you with them. You on that road in them vehicles with those wives and those children, and every time I see them, they getting bigger. They damn near bigger than you. Every time I see them, it's like, God damn, these young cats growing up, they strong. The dapper's getting stronger. The muscles is in their arms and in their neck. I'm looking at these young cats like they down there in that country. They doing push-ups and sit-ups and getting strong. And guess what? It's a beautiful thing. Men, it's an honorable thing to be a man that has raised children. When men see you, they like, God damn, impressed. I'm just getting started, son. I got 2 kids. I got my daughter and I got my nephew here in my crib. And I'm seeing this ain't no easy thing, This ain't no punk thing to be a father in a house and raise kids. And you understand? And I look at brothers like you, like, man, that's a mighty, amazing man. I be here with just 2 and 1 woman about to go crazy. You can do, I don't know how you do what you do, but that's what the Bible talking about. You understand? When you teach your children, man, it grieves the enemy, and your friends going to rejoice of him. Meaning what? Your friends rejoice of the children. Man, look at your boy. Y'all keep getting strong. I know you're proud of him, man. He wearing that all black, man. That's a beautiful thing. Everybody understands. Verse 4 says, though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead. Imagine that. Imagine your time coming, the Lord call you home. You leave this place. But it's like you never left. Why? Because your boy doing the same thing you was doing. That child that you raised up, that you gave knowledge and instruction to, he's carrying on your legacy. He gonna take what you did and he gonna go further with it. Imagine we standing and fighting for the Lord, fighting for the truth, teaching classes. Imagine what our children are gonna do. Imagine where these kids are gonna take it. It's an amazing thing. Imagine believing that you too poor to have children and you don't leave nobody to carry on your work. You don't leave nobody to take the thing that you gave your life to and carry it further. I thank the Lord for my grandfather, my grandparents, because my grandfather was a man that tried. He did the best he could with what he knew about God. And I know for a fact that I'm here doing what I'm doing because he crawled so I could walk. Hell, I'm flying. He crawled so I could fly.
Right.
Well, if I'm flying, what my children going to do? If we fly in your side, what our kids going to do? They're going to be in outer space somewhere.
Right.
If we battling demons and overcoming Satan in our mind, then guess what, man? Our children are going to fight demons and overcome Satan in other people. They're going to carry it to the next level. They're going to continue the legacy. That's why it's important to have children. Everybody understand? Keep reading. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus 30, middle of verse 4. For he has left one behind him that is like himself. Verse 5, when he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. Imagine you get to leave this earth not sorry. Leave this earth not afraid. Why? Because you know you taught your children well. You know you gave them what they needed. I remember being a young boy, and my mother telling me that all she wanted was for me to know the Most High for myself. That was her prayer and that was her hope. And I live every day thanking the Most High that I can live as proof that the Lord answered her prayers. You understand? And I'm getting at an age and a point where I am the age my mother was when her mother and father got sick and left this earth. And I think to myself sometimes, you know, if that day comes, if that time comes before Christ is back, I know she's not going to be sad. I know she's not going to be sorry. She's going to be ready to go because she did her job and she got to live and see amazing things that the Lord told her she was going to get to see. And I know she'll leave here satisfied. And I am going to be sad and I'll cry, but I won't feel bad because I won't have no regrets. I won't ever feel like I didn't say something I needed to say or do something I needed to do. I know that I've lived the life that my mother wished for me to live and that I was able to do the thing that she prayed to the Lord that she would be able to see me do, which was to learn the Most High for myself. And brother, imagine you do that for your children and you give that to your kids. It won't even be a problem to leave this place.
Right.
It won't be a sad day if I know that the time for me has come and I'm going back to the Father. Why? Because I know I'm going to leave my kids here to make sure I return.
Damn right.
I know I'm going to teach my kids what they need to know so they'll serve the Lord. And guess what? I'll be back in 2 or 3 generations. I'll be back. And I'll be back in the truth. Right. You understand? I'll be back knowing the Lord. I won't be back in the house where, you know, we celebrating Christmas and uncles is, you know, doing dirt and living how they live. And I'm not going to be exposed to the things I was exposed to. I'll come back in the kingdom with a crown, with a father who's a king or a prince ruling over a province somewhere with some power and wealth. Why? Because of the work that we put in now. Because I extended my heritage and had children to leave behind that could carry on the work that the Lord used me to start. And it's absolutely necessary that we do this thing to preserve the justice that we deserve. Reading on Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 6 now, it says, when he left behind him an avenger against his enemies and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. You understand? Your children are avengers against your enemies. For all the evil that we've suffered, for all the horrible things that have transpired, we should be looking forward to having children to leave behind, to make that in there and praying that in their day, God will destroy our enemies.
Right.
Understand? I asked a question earlier, what you thought, what do you think the slaves were thinking about in slavery while they were having sex and making children? You understand? Give me Baruch chapter 4. I know for a fact. Now again, this is unique. Maybe I don't know if this is unique to my life or not, right? But I remember when I was young, my grandmother used to say things like, you know, she used to say she might not live long enough to see Jesus return, but she believed that we would be able to see it. My grandmother believed that, you know, Christ was coming and it's going to be soon. She didn't know if we were going to see him in her lifetime, but she believed that we was going to be the ones that lived to see it, right? And and so much of what we're living now and going through, I couldn't imagine her bearing witness to some of this stuff, right? But as we're living in this time and these biblical prophecies are being fulfilled, I know that it was a hope and a prayer of those previous generations that their children's children would get justice for
Right.
them, that their children's children would get revenge for them, that their children's children would triumph and would overcome the enemy. That's what all of those Negro spirituals are about. That's what all of those prayers that we prayed are about. And the Bible records one of those prayers that was sent up to the Lord, praying that he would allow our children and our children's children to get justice for the evil that was done to them in their lifetime. Everybody understands?
Come.
And let's get Baruch in the Apocrypha, chapter 4.
Come. The book of
Read.
Baruch.
Go ahead. Chapter 1, read it.
Come. The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life. But
Hold on, Salaki, hold on right quick. Yesai, that might not be it. Try Baruch chapter 3, verse 1.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 1. O Lord Almighty, God of Israel, the soul in anguish, the troubled spirit, cried unto thee. Hear, O Lord, and have mercy, for thou art merciful, and have pity upon us, because we have sinned before thee. For thou endurest forever, and we perish utterly. O Lord Almighty, thou God of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites.
Now, pause right there. Pause right there. Baruch chapter 3, this verse 4, right? Baruch 3 and 4 is a plead to the Lord to hear the prayers of the dead Israelites, meaning hear the prayers of the generations past. Hear the prayers of those that suffered through slavery and suffered through Jim Crow and was hung from trees and got their backs whipped and saw their children sold into captivity. Hear now the prayers of the Israelites that was in captivity and bondage under the Egyptians, who was forced to work to build straw and mortar with no brick. You understand? Who was put through unimaginable cruelty. What is the prayers of those people that lived and died through those times? What are the prayers of the people that saw unimaginable evil and had to endure it because there was no savior, because there was no deliverer? Let's read Baruch chapter 3, verse 4, and let's see what was the prayer of the dead Israelites. Go ahead, you got it up.
The book of Baruch chapter 3, verse 4. O Lord Almighty, thou God of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee, and not hearken unto the voice of and not hearken unto the voice of thee, their God, for the which causes these plagues cleave unto us. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon thy power and thy name now at this time. For thou art the Lord our God, and thee, O Lord, will we praise. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
You can stop right there. You can stop right there. The prayer of the dead Israelites is that the Most High would cause their children and their children's children to remember that they sinned. And their sin is what caused them to go into captivity. That their sin is what caused them to suffer at the hands of their oppressor. That their sins is what caused them to be subject under the white man that we're subject under today. And if we are calling on the Lord to remember their prayers, then what was their hope and what was their desire for those children of the future? Their hope and their desire was that we would get it right. Their hope and their desire is that we would obey the Lord and turn to him and get free and get out of captivity and no longer be suffering the way that they did. If they suffered because of their sin and their iniquity, what happens when we no longer sin? What happens when we're no longer disobedient? What happens once we're turning and facing the Lord and praying to him? Let me get 2 Chronicles 7:14. 2 Chronicles 7:14.
Kind of a kind of the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7 and verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
Everybody understands. This was the prayer of the dead Israelites, that we would one day turn to the Most High, we would pray and seek his face, would turn from our wicked ways so that he would hear from heaven and forgive our sin and heal our land. What does the Most High forgiving our sin and healing our land look like? What does the Most High delivering us out of this oppression look like? What does the Bible say is going to happen once we return to the Most High? Once we become the children that he called us to be? Give me give me Obadiah. Book of Obadiah, I want to say verse 17. Let me see something. Get Obadiah, let's start at verse 15. Understand that this future that we're reading about is only possible if we have children, if we teach them the truth, if we make sure that they raised up in the knowledge of the Most High, raised up in the knowledge of the obedience to his law, statutes, and commandments. There can be no justice. There can be no turning of the guard. There can be no righting of the wrongs that we've suffered if we don't raise up children to serve the Most High. To believe that you too poor to have children is the spirit of the oppressor. It is the spirit of weakness and lacking in faith and trust in and of the Most High and understanding. You understand that his plan for us to prosper and to overcome. Everybody understands.
Come
on with it. You got it out.
The book of Obadiah, verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they has not been. Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it.
You can stop right there. You understand? What is Obadiah talking about? Obadiah is prophesying the day of the Lord upon all the heathen. What is the day of the Lord upon all the heathen? The day that we return to the Most High. The day that we become the people he called us to be. The day that we fulfill 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. When we return to the Most High and humble ourselves and seek his face, when we plead with him to forgive us for our sins and we begin to obey him and keep his laws, the Most High healing our land and restoring us is the day that he empowers us to get vengeance on our oppressors. Is the day that he empowers us to get justice for all the cruelty and the evil that we've suffered. Everybody understands. Obadiah is describing that day. Obadiah is telling you what's going to happen. Again, verse 6 is Obadiah 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down. And they shall be as though they had not been. Meaning what? All the power and the wealth that these other nations have right now because of our suffering, because of our poverty, because of us being ruled over. You understand? All of them are experiencing prosperity that they have not imagined in the earth. The Koreans have billion-dollar industries based on black women's hair care, and nails and stuff like that. The East Indians have a billion-dollar program where they cutting their women's hair off in the name of some god they worship, right, sending it over here and making billions of dollars on bundles for black women's hair. Why do black women have to go through these heathens to get their hair? Because the white man has convinced them that their hair is ugly, that they are not beautiful. The white man has lowered our self-esteem and ruined our image of ourselves so badly that we go to these other nations to get their hair to benefit ourselves. And guess what? That makes all of them rich. And what do they do with those riches? Oh, they get drunk and out of control. They can't handle themselves. They don't know what to do. They making so much money off the back of black people. They don't know what to do with themselves. The Lord said, guess what? They're going to keep being drunk. They're going to keep, you understand, loving the life that they're living at the expense of our suffering. And when the Lord goes to flip it, then they're going to get everything back to them that they took from us. Everybody understands? Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. What is Mount Zion? That's the government of Israel. You understand? Mount Zion, again, mountains in the Bible symbolize governments, symbolize, centralized rulership. Mount Zion is going to be where the rulership of Israel is. You understand? Right now, that rulership is being raised up in the highest UPK and the Commander General Yohana. When our king returns, of course, it'll be centralized on him. But the Bible is saying when we turn back to the Lord, then upon Mount Zion is going to be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Who are the possessions we're going to possess? These other nations. Right. We're going to take the Edomites into captivity. We're going to take the Elamite, the East Indians into captivity. We're going to take the Arabs into captivity, the Chinese and the Koreans. You understand? The Japanese and the Africans. We're going to take them into captivity. Yeah, everybody understands. Verse 18, it says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. That's the future of our oppressor. That's the future the white man is afraid of. And you know what the white man knows? That future is possible if we keep having children. That future is only possible if we're raising up future generations to terrorize them in the day of judgment. The white man wants to convince you to not have children. He wants to convince you to not get married. He wants to convince you that you are too poor and too broke to be raising children. Don't believe those lies. Don't believe that propaganda. The white man wants you to think you're better off alone than being with a man and sharing him with another woman or two. Don't believe the lies. The white man wants you alone and miserable. He wants you to chasing a career and not chasing after building up and raising future generations to grieve him and to bring him to justice. The white man's biggest fear is that we are going to outbreed them, that we're going to have more children at a higher rate than they can, and eventually our children outnumber them so much that we'll just go to war and overthrow them.
Right.
So the white man is doing everything to discourage you from having children, to discourage you from building families. And unfortunately, we are falling into the trap. We're falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You understand? We're falling for the propaganda, for the indoctrination. We've been brainwashed into believing that black men is the enemy of black women, and that black women are the enemy of black men, when it's the white man behind the scenes got both of us on puppet strings, causing us to hate each other. How can we heal? We can only heal through the truth of the Most High.
That's right.
We can only heal through this knowledge of brotherhood and sisterhood that Christ gave us. We can only bridge the gap if we can become brand new. We can't continue living being the brothers and sisters that were, suffered the things we suffered. We can't continue in life carrying the scars of the child that we were, that was abused and taken advantage of. We can't go through life carrying the hatred and the desire for justice and vengeance against those that did evil to us. We got to learn to forgive those in our lives who trespass against us. And we got to pray the Lord will forgive us for our trespasses. We haven't been all good. We haven't done everything right. Some of those things that happened to us, it was horrible. And in turn, we did horrible things to people. For every person that we need to forgive for the evil they did to us, there's somebody we need to pray that the Lord will forgive us for doing evil too. And if we can become people that can forgive those who have done evil and pray that the Lord will forgive us for the evil we've done, then we can become brand new and be someone that never does any evil anymore, and now go through life expecting good. Go through life expecting to be protected by God. Go through life expecting that when I have these children, the Lord gonna make a way for me to take care of them. The Lord gonna make a way for me to feed them. The Lord gonna make a way for me to clothe them. Not blindly just believing in some fairy tale magic God, but knowing that I am living in obedience to the Most High, and He promised that if we obeyed Him and did what He said to do, that He would be our God and take care of us.
Right.
You can't expect the Lord to come through and be on your side and deliver you from hell if you're not obeying Him. That's why church is so evil. Christianity is so evil because it teaches us to lean on God without ever teaching us that God requires that we respect Him and obey Him. God is not some jilted lover, somebody you can abuse and manipulate. So many of you was used to just being manipulative. You abuse some person that loves you, and then when you realize they about to leave, you come back and say, I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean to do that. Please forgive me. I just be tripping sometimes. Guess what? God ain't that woman you ram rod into and then you disrespect and abuse, and you come back and say, baby, I'm sorry.
Right.
Black woman, God is not that man that you trash and talk down to and tell him he all kinds of bitches and hoes and don't handle his business. Then when that man get ready to leave, you want to cry and scream and please, baby, no, don't leave. That's not the God of the Bible.
Right.
The God of the Bible is a father that is giving you instructions and rules, and you'll obey, and He'll be there for you. Or you'll disobey, and He'll watch you suffer. He'll watch you get hurt. Then after you hurt, you'll come back and you'll say, Daddy, I was wrong. I apologize. And He'll say, it's okay. I forgive you. Don't do it again. Now do what I told you to do. Right now, the Lord is waiting for us to come to Him and say, we're sorry for going against your rules. We're sorry for not taking your word seriously. And the Lord is going to say, it's all right. I forgive you. Now do what I told you to do. That's what the ISUPK is about. Teaching brothers and sisters how to do what the Lord said to do. And when we do that, we are going to grieve this oppressor. You understand? Salakia, if I could, Yesai, keep reading in Obadiah. From verse 19 now, go from verse 19 down to verse 21 to the end of the chapter.
Verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, And they of the plain, the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. Verse 20. And the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south. Verse 21. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
Everybody understand? That's the time that we're looking forward to, Akim. That's the time that we're looking forward to, Agua. We're looking forward to the time when we're going to take into captivity all the people that had us in captivity. We're going to take them for possession. And we're going to rule over them, and we're going to dominate, and we're going to be the super global power on the earth. And then we're going to have all the wealth and all the riches and all the power, and we're going to have the laws of God and the rules that he gave us. You understand? And we're going to put the earth in subjection under our King, Yahushua HaMashiach. We'll only be able to see that day if we having children, if our families are intact, if we fighting to stay together and raise these kids so that they can be the ones that live out this future. If we don't see this future in our life, if we don't see this prophecy fulfilled in our lifetime, then we're gonna have to pray our children get to see it fulfilled. But there will be no children to fulfill it if we don't have babies, if we don't have children. The whole purpose of this oppression is to discourage us from having kids. It's written right here in the Bible. Everything America is doing is to stop black men and black women from reproducing. Everything America is doing is to stop Hispanic men and Hispanic women from reproducing, to stop Native Indian men and women from reproducing, to stop those men and women in the Caribbean from reproducing. You understand? You know what we have to do? We got to reproduce. We have to keep having sex and keep making babies because the white man doesn't want it. If for no other reason, brothers tonight, give your woman some because the white man doesn't want you to. Now, some of y'all, I ain't got to say that. You was going to do it anyway. You did it last night. You're going to do it tonight. You're going to do it tomorrow night. But if you needed motivation, just know that you need to give that woman some because the Lord said to grieve the enemy. You sisters, you give that man some tonight because the Lord wants it to be so.
Right.
It's how you grieve the enemy. Do your part. Ladies, you can do your part in this battle for the future of earth by giving that man some. You understand?
Right.
Put yourself in position for the Lord to use you as a vessel to grieve the enemy. And it is a beautiful, honorable, righteous thing. Everybody understands? Let's drop that. Let's get let's drop that. Drop that. Get Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 43.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto this and will be merciful unto his land and to his people.
Everybody understands. The Most High said to rejoice, for the nations to rejoice with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. How does a dead man get revenge? How does a man who has passed away receive justice and vengeance? It's the children he leave behind, man. The children he leave behind are the ones that get the justice, get the vengeance. We are alive today because of the work of our fathers. If your father didn't do anything other than put you inside your mother, that man is worthy of honor.
That's right.
He's worthy of respect. For the one, you could have a father who was a horrible piece of shit and didn't do nothing. He did lay down with your mother and make you.
Right.
And the Lord, that he could have laid down with your mother and it been a blank shot. He laid
Right.
down with your mother, and the Lord made sure that you came here. Which means what? Regardless of the circumstances or the situation, the Lord wanted you here.
Damn right.
And now that you're here, what should you do? Now that you have this chance of life, you have this chance to learn the truth, you have this chance to know the Most High, what should you do? You should honor that by obeying the Lord. You should honor that by positioning yourself to be the receivers of the justice, to be the ones that receive the benefit of seeing vengeance of the Lord come down on your adversaries and your enemies. Everybody understands? The Lord said he will be merciful to his land and to his people. We must be deserving of the mercy. If we are not deserving of the Lord's mercy, then we are going to suffer with the oppressor.
Right.
If we don't separate ourselves today, right now, then we are going to partake in the destruction that the Lord is bringing down on the white man in America. Anybody that has eyes to see can see America's falling. You got one or two choices. Are you going to stand with America as it falls and try to keep it propped up? Or are you going to flee as far as you can so that you can escape the dust from all the smoke that settles? It's like anybody's ever been in a, the only image I'm getting right now is New York at 9/11. In New York City, when those towers collapsed, there were some people that knew those towers were going to collapse. And guess what? There was nothing they could do except run from the dust. Run from the dust of those buildings collapsing. That's all they could do. Wasn't nothing you could do to save the building. You just got to get out of the shadow of the destruction.
Right.
Well, that's where we are in America right now. This place is falling. You can either stand at the base and get caught in the rubble, or you can run as far as you can to escape the dust. And that's what we're doing in the ISUPK. We are running to escape the dust of the destruction of this place falling down.
That's right.
We're running to get as far away from the fire as possible. Some of you standing right in the middle of the kitchen. Fire is raging. Right. The firefighters are not coming, and you standing in there with a squirt bottle of water trying to put a fire out. You're gonna burn up with that goddamn kitchen.
Right.
You should be running and getting away. We should be letting white people try to save this place. Watching white people struggle and fight and argue on the internet, instead black people talking about, man, we got to get out there and vote. We got to prop up the Democrat this and prop up the Republican that. All you niggas are going to suffer and die with these devils. What we just read in Obadiah, you're going to be a part of that, the judgment of Mount Esau. You're going to be a part of the destruction because you didn't want to identify as God's chosen people. Come on with it, Doc.
Well, no, I was going to say, that's Revelation 18:4, huh? When they say, come out of her, my people. That
absolutely.
You not consumed.
Absolutely. Right. Let's go ahead and pull it out. You called it. I was going to get to it. Let's get to Revelation chapter 18.
Oh, no. The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
You understand? The Lord said, come out of her, my people. Why come? Not a physical coming out of her, but take your spirit out of this place. Don't be a part of the evil. And it's very easy right now with what's going on in America. It's very easy to take yourself out of America. Don't participate in their democracy. See their capitalism for the evil that it is. Right now, we live in what they call late stage capitalism. This financial system, the way the white man has it, has been running the earth before. And in the last times that they've tried to have this capitalism thing, it gets to the end of the cycle of capitalism working, where you have all the wealth concentrated with the very few rich elites, and the majority of the people are suffering at the bottom. And there's a little buffer in the middle of people that's propping the system up until the ones at the bottom revolt and unalive all the people at the top, and the system resets itself. Well, the white people that study this know that we are at the end of the cycle. Right. We are in late stage capitalism, and we right at the point before the people revolt and overthrow all the rulers. The news isn't telling you, but they're rioting right now in Bolivia. They protesting right now in Germany in the streets. They over there in Ireland. The East Indians have taken over Ireland. There is no more Ireland. It's all East Indians over there now. The earth is in an uproar. It's in upheaval. They keeping you pacified and asleep with a president that defecates on himself standing outside of the damn pillars of the White House.
Damn.
They got this bumbling, stumbling idiot of a man named Donald Trump who's incompetent and irrational, but he makes white people feel empowered. So they leave him in a position of power. And he's ruining and destroying this place the way God wanted it to be ruined and destroyed. And rather than black people seeing it as a glorious, wonderful opportunity to get free, you got niggas that still talking about how we're going to bounce back in the next election. There is no bouncing back.
Right.
There is no recovering from this. But we can come out of her. We can say, you know what? Democracy doesn't work for us. We're not participating. We can say capitalism, we understand it as a system and how it works. We're not seeking to get to the top of the food chain no more. We're going to stay right near at the bottom. And we're going to wait for the changing of the guard, for the ushering in of a new system, for a new phase. Hell, we're going to start bartering with one another. You better learn how to barter. You think capitalism is the only way? You better learn how to share.
Right.
You a woman up there, you know how to braid hair. You better be prepared to trade braiding hair for gasoline.
Right.
If you can cook, you better prepare to learn to cook muffins in exchange, you understand, for a man to fix the roof.
Right.
You know how to change, you work on cars and change oil and brakes. You better prepare to change oil and brakes so that you can keep your electricity on.
Right.
This is where this society is headed. We're coming into a time where, guess what? We're going to have to learn to love and depend on one another. And we can do that with the brotherhood of Christ. We can do that with the laws of God. We ain't going to be able to send our kids to public school no more. We're going to need neighborhood schools where the women in the neighborhood and men in the neighborhood come and teach the children mathematics. Teach the children ABCs. Ain't nobody going to worry about if you got a PhD in that day. We're not going to worry about if you got a master's degree. Right. Can you teach these children some life skills? Can you teach them mathematics? And we're going to have to do these things on our own because we're not going to be able to depend on the system to get it done.
Damn right.
Well, guess what? Revelations 18:4 says, come out of her, my people. You understand that she be not partakers of her sins and receive none of her plagues. We got to stop following the white man and disobeying God.
That's right.
I don't care what your sin is. If your sin is smoking weed, if your sin is eating pork and shrimp, if your sin is being an LGBTQ member, if your sin is, watching pornography, whatever, gambling too much, whatever your sin is, you got to put that thing aside, man, so we can survive.
Right.
You understand? Right. I don't want to hear about you being LGBTQ and the goddamn grocery stores ain't opening.
Right.
Listen, the only sex that's going to be being had in a minute is good man on woman making baby sex.
Right.
Ain't gonna be time for all that nonsense that y'all got going on. All them parties y'all like to go to. In a second, you ain't gonna be able to get your drugs. You know what happens when you're a drug addict can't get their drugs? Ain't gonna be no more gay sex.
Right.
Ain't no two women having gay sex that's sober. Right. What are we doing? Right. They goddamn drunk and high, and that's how they can fake their way through the whole thing. You got to be drunk and or high to be a woman with a pretend penis having sex with another woman.
Right.
And how do you do that? I'm sorry, I didn't even want to think about it.
You're right.
You can't be, you're not going to be able to be gay and with no drugs and no alcohol. Gay sex is not happening if somebody that high and drunk and not in their right mind. The Lord is about to make it so that the only way we're going to be able to survive is if we are living in accordance to his will, is if we're doing what he said to do.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that the Lord said to do that go against this society and against this empire, and they don't want you obeying God. They don't want you doing what God said to do, but guess what? It's absolutely necessary in order for us to survive, in order for us to continue to do what the Lord requires for us to receive justice. Read on, if you could, in Revelation chapter 18, verse 5.
Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Verse
Read
6.
on.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill to her double.
Everybody understands. Why is the Lord going to do these things? Why is he going to deliver us when we return to him? Because the sins and the evil of this place have reached to heaven.
Right.
God is sick of all the evil that is taking place in the earth. He can't stomach it no more. You look at all the evil that's now being made manifest and all the people that still reject the Lord. The joy of the Lord, he ain't just like he got fed up in the days of Noah, he's getting fed up. And the evil and the oppression is becoming too much that even the Lord can't ignore it anymore. And understand this, the Lord hasn't allowed suffering to continue on the earth because he gets off on suffering, because he's just some cruel God that loves watching people hurt. The Bible tells us that the Most High is waiting for a nation that is worthy of deliverance. What's been holding the Most High back is our sins. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians disobeying God and not claiming our identity, not acknowledging his mercy on us, not obeying his laws, not keeping his statutes and commandments. That's what's kept the Lord away from us. You understand? Matter of fact, let's close with that. Give me Isaiah 58 and 1. Either Isaiah 58 or 59. It says the Lord's ear is not heavy that he can't hear. His arms are not short that he can't reach out. You understand? The Lord said in Revelation 18 and 5, it said the sins of this place has reached to heaven. The iniquity has gotten to God and it's too much. And in verse 6, it says, reward her as she rewarded you, even double according to her works. So all the evil that our oppressor has done to us in this place, the Lord said they're going to get double. America's coming up on 250-year anniversary. That's 250 years of slavery, 250 years of genocide, 250 years of harsh bondage, of having our identity and our culture and our heritage stripped from us, 250 years of worshiping a God that was not ours, 250 years of aborting our babies and hanging us from trees and doing every evil imaginable to discourage us and to dishonor us. God said they're going to get double. That's at least 500 years, white people. I'm not even counting 1692 with Christopher Columbus. We go back then and we got to add another 250 years on to it. Now we're talking about 1,000 years of captivity. Right. 1,000 years of working under niggers, repairing the earth from all the evil that you've done. It's going to be a glorious day when Christ returns to this earth. And all around this planet, things are happening on a scale that you couldn't even believe. I watched the other day, it was a volcano in the Philippines and a damn meteorite landed with the volcano. The volcano erupting, fire coming out of the mountain. You see some green beam shooting in the background. They said it was a meteorite. They talking about it. They just found some pocket of water underneath the earth, 3 miles, 9,000 miles long or some shit. Some giant fire lake under the earth is the pressure's building is raising towards the surface. There's all types of things going on. The white man is the devil, but the Most High is true. And he is going to make these devils burn, and it's going to be horrible. We don't know how the Lord is going to do it, but we know he's going to do it. And we know that we better prepare ourselves to be delivered because the Lord is not coming back for a nation of drug dealers. He's not coming back for a nation of LGBTQ people. Right. God is the God of the Bible, definitely not coming back for no damn Democrats and Republicans.
Right.
He's not coming back for, Crips and Bloods. He coming back for his people, lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And we better be about the business of finding out who that is. And once we find out it's us, be about the business of doing what God said to do to be delivered. Read this last scripture before we close out the class. Read from verse 1 down to 3. You got it?
You cut it with God, sir. So the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God. And your sins have hid his face from you, that he would not hear.
You can
Verse
stop right
3.
there. It's like you can stop right there. Stop at verse 2. You understand? The thing that has kept us divided from the Most High is our sins. That's why he hasn't reached his hand out yet. That's why you feel like your prayers are falling on deaf ears. If we would obey the Lord and do what he said to do, he got that arm and still mighty and strong to reach out. That ear can still hear our cries and our prayers like he did in Egypt. And he promised us that he would deliver us once we get right. But brothers and sisters, the only thing left to do is for us to get right. So let's do it. Let's become the people the Lord called us to be so he can deliver us out of this blinding oppression like he delivered us out of the land of Egypt. With that, clap it up. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2026, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on this earth. All you brothers and sisters tuning in, if you got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana areas, get them in contact with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And we had these classes 3 nights out of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. The purpose of these classes is to allow brothers and sisters to go into this book called the Bible to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has put inside of this book so that we can come back to being the people he called us to be and reclaim our righteous place on the earth as kings, priests, princesses, and daughters of Zion. I want to say the water to officer of 1,000 Yasado.
Officer 1,000. It's Lafayette, Louisiana.
Lafayette, Salakia.
Yeah, right.
Most High in Christ. Lafayette. The brother in Lake Charles is Yakawan is in Lake Charles. Yakawan. Okay, Most High in Christ. All right. Lafayette, Louisiana, man. The water Yasada, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? For all the sisters tuning in, all the brothers, Yabashim Shabrak all the sisters, Yahweh Shema, Stabashim Yahweh. Lord Allah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for class. Shalom.
Shalom.